makes me smile a lot.
It's one place I don't have to worry about fitting in.
I learned how and why to make a difference.
Forum Christian Church, connecting, growing, living.
It's all about commitment, and when it comes to the environment, we're committed to making the world out there just as beautiful as we help you make the world in here. By using green practices and natural materials from renewable resources to operate our Carpet One Floor and Home stores, and offering a growing selection of flooring that meets our Green Select standards. When you purchase a product with a Green Select label, you'll know you've made a choice you can feel good about forever. Visit Carpet One Floor and Home today to learn more about Green Select, the earth-friendly choice.
I'm Cole.
And I'm Jason.
We build houses in mid-Missouri.
All kinds of houses.
With all kinds of floor plans.
And all kinds of budgets.
Because we believe you shouldn't have to wait.
For a house that makes you feel right at home.
You can have better living
right now.
We make dreams come true.
This is Building for Better Living. Okay, we're back at John and Toby's Custom Home. It's day 218. Today we're going to talk a little more about the sheetrock. As you can see, all the sheetrock mudding has been done. It's all been sanded. On the ceiling, they've done a splatter or a knockdown texture. And they do that, I don't know if it just helps for acoustically too, but they do it because it actually helps hide some of the imperfections, because that's going to be some of your biggest spans of sheetrock that's not going to have a picture on it, a piece of furniture in front of it. And they do a really good job mudding it, but adding that texture actually makes it look flawless when they're done.
So the guys from Flashover Painting are going to come out here and they're going to do a couple of different things. One, they're going to put 2 coats of what they call a prep coat on the ceilings and 1 on the walls. The closets will get 2 coats, and the garage will get 2 coats as well. The garage will be completely finished when they come and spray it out the first day. The closets will be completely finished, and then again they'll have the ceilings completely done. The walls will have their first primer of prep coat.
Well, the prep coat's so important because it's a newer product they're talking about that actually seals the drywall. You can do a primer, but it seals the drywall, and they say it actually goes on there thick enough that it actually hides some of the imperfections, maybe a nail dimple or things like that. So this product they're calling a prep coat, that's the point of that. Seal it and, again, help hide any minor imperfections in the drywall.
Let me show you an example of what happens with that prep coat. If you look closely right here, you'll see that there is a screw right there underneath that mud. This prep coat will come over there and totally hide that, because there is a little bit of a dimple here. They get really close, but there is just a slight little indentation there. That prep coat will definitely fill it up all the way. So the guys at Flashover will make sure that these walls are completely smooth when they're done. Once we get all the cabinets set, tile floor in, all the trimmer in, then they're going to come over here and they're going to finish out the painting with the final colors that John and Toby select. So we're talking about the texture for the ceiling. The guys from Gecko, when they come out here, what they do is once all the final mud is completed, they're going to take a sander and make sure all the walls are completely smooth, free from any divots, any big chunks of sheetrock mud. And then what they're going to do is spray out the ceiling with what they call a knockdown texture. And there's a couple different kinds of textures out there. The old school texture used to be what they called the popcorn acoustic texture. That was the texture ceiling where you'd run your hand here and all these little styrofoam balls would fall down. Well, they're not using that anymore in new construction. A couple different options, what they call an orange peel, which is just a splattered coat all throughout the ceiling, and it kind of has a pretty defined texture to it. It's got a little bit more substance to it. It's a little thicker. And then they have what is called a knockdown, and what they do is it's the same application. They orange peel the whole ceiling, and then they take a trowel and they actually flatten it out all the way throughout the ceiling. That's why they call it a knockdown. They're knocking down the basic excess sheetrock mud that might be hanging after a splatter. So they knock it down and make it a flat texture. Then when you spray it, it's gonna add a little bit of character to the ceiling, and it looks really nice. A lot of folks are starting to actually put this type of texture on their walls too. And again, Jason hit it right on the head. It does help hide imperfections because the hardest part to work on is the ceiling. Nice.
Last week we talked about them hanging it and how they used as long as pieces as they could possibly use in a room to eliminate those what we call butt joints. And a butt joint is the end of each side of the sheetrock that does not have a tapered finish. All along the length there's a tapered finish in here on the sheetrock sheets itself. So when you put mud and tape, it ends up finishing almost perfectly smooth across here because of that divot in there. When they have a butt joint, it's not tapered. So in order to get a butt joint to look right, see how far they have to mud this out? We're almost about 3 feet in order to make that joint disappear. You can see one here as well. Where all the rest, when you can use longer sheetrock, you end up more with a joint like this, which is maybe 12 to 14 inches to make it look perfect.
Brought you in part by Carpet One Floor and Home Columbia. Best brands, best service. The Forum Christian Church, intentionally connecting people to Jesus. Steve's Pest Control. Now you have a friend in the pest control business. And Withrow Electric. No job too small.